Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and I'm very pleased today to have an inspiring language learner and a language mover and shaker as my interview guest. It's Jitka, who's the head organiser this year with Peter Balázs of the Polyglot Gathering, which is soon to take place in Bratislava. In fact, it's starting next week. Jitka, could you tell us a bit about yourself?
So, hi everyone, as Gareth was saying, my name is Jitka. I am now the head organizer of the Polyglot Gathering along with Peter, as Gareth mentioned. I come from Czech Republic originally. I live now in Berlin for 5 years. I love traveling around, and obviously I love languages as everyone else as well. And yeah, I'm really excited about next week, about the Gathering 2019.
What actually is the Polyglot Gathering for anybody who doesn't know about it?
So it's basically an event that gathers people who love languages, who love learning languages because they find some fun in it or pleasure, not just because they want to make their CV look good. And it's a 5-day event. It takes place this year in Bratislava in Slovakia again. Next year we're going to change the location, but it's still a secret where it's going to be. And yeah, basically everyone who loves languages, enjoys learning them, and actually loves talking about languages is invited for this gathering.
And so you don't actually have to be a polyglot, someone who's learning or speaks already many languages then?
I would say definitely you don't have to. It just happens to be the case that many people who attend this event, they are polyglots. They have been learning languages for some of us a decade or even several decades. But of course, even someone who's starting to learn languages, they are welcome to join this event as well.
One of the things I found about the event, having attended, this will be the 6th one that I'm attending, I've attended them all, is just how welcoming it is to new people. And I was very nervous the first time I attended the first event in Berlin in 2014, but I needn't have worried because I suppose the sort of people who learn languages tend to be open and friendly and into communication. Even if they're shy as personalities, they do want to communicate and to welcome people. So I would second what you say there. I think it's certainly the case that the doors are open.
Yeah.
Now, you've been involved in the team for the last few years. I've been aware of you in some sort of organisational role. So what's your history with the gathering, and how come you've stepped into the large shoes of Lydia Machova, who herself took over in Bratislava 2 years ago from Judith Meyer? What's the story of how you end up as one of the head organisers, Jitka?
Yes, so I remember my first gathering that I attended was in 2017, so 2 years ago. It was the very first one. I was just a participant. I actually learned about the gathering quite by a coincidence. A friend here in Berlin just told me, hey, there is an event for language lovers, and he knows that I love languages. So he told me you should attend, but I didn't know anyone. I didn't even know anyone else going. He couldn't go himself. But I just decided to go. But as you said, I was also a bit nervous in the beginning. But then at the end, as you said, like many friendly people, and it was just a great experience. And then the year after, in 2018, last year, I went again. And before that, I was approached actually by Lydia and Peter, and they asked me if I want to help them with the organization, to be the project manager and kind of help with the organization of the team. So of course it's an opportunity that I couldn't say no to, so I said yes. And then last year they approached me again and asked me if I would like to take over Lydia's role. And again, it's something I couldn't say no to, and I'm happy that I said yes.
Although it must be a lot of work and a rather steep learning curve.
Yes, definitely. But we have an amazing team of, I think, 10 of us are in total. So we divided our tasks and everyone is doing their best in their field. So at the end of the day, it works perfectly.
Would you say you're a natural leader and organizer?
Usually people tell me that I am. That's why I have been offered some of these roles also in my previous jobs as a team leader. So probably yes. But I feel like, there's always something new to learn depending on the teams you have, if they are sitting in the same office with you or if they are sitting in different parts of the world internationally. So yeah, always new challenges.
Now, the venue is, like last year and the year before, the Economics University in Bratislava, which has a lot of large conference rooms in which events take place. I don't think the event would fit in the original venue, the A&O Hotel near the station in Berlin anymore, where we had a few hundred the first time, maybe a couple of hundred people. Last year there were 538, and I think that the last time I looked, which was last night on the website, there were 694 people listed as registered participants. So it looks like this could be the largest polyglot or language lovers event ever.
Exactly. I remember last year we already broke the record. But yeah, now we have 695 people registered from 67 different countries. So definitely the biggest event so far.
The core of the event is the talks. There are 6 different spaces, 6 different lecture rooms or smaller rooms being used this year, and there are 6 or 7 slots a day, so starting at 9 or 10 in the morning through to the early evening. And so we're looking at over 100 different talks, workshops. It's an amazing variety, and also in different languages, I think.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. This is also something that we received feedback from the participants from last year, and we decided to follow this path. So in the past, most of the talks were in English because that's the lingua franca of our gathering. However, people started asking more and more for talks also in different languages so that they could actually practice also the other languages. And that's why this year we're going to have more and more talks in these languages. However, there's always at least one talk at every hour that happens in English, so that people who only want to follow English talks, they will always have something to go to. So there is no need to worry.
Yes, there's this endless debate, isn't there, that it's rather ironic if most things take place in English, but then you come across the problem most people know quite a lot of English.
Yeah.
And you don't have necessarily another lingua franca, so the talks tend then to be in the other big languages, but you have to try and square that circle. It's always a bit of a difficulty. But my experience, at least, is in the milling area, the reception outside, there's a place with tables where people can sit and play board games, charge their phones, blog, just talk. People are speaking all sorts of different languages and really taking the opportunity to practice them.
Exactly. And also last year we had this no English zone area where basically you're not allowed to speak English. It was outside.
That was where the hammock was hanging. There was a hammock.
Yeah, exactly. And this year it might actually rain. We were all checking the weather forecast. So let's see. I mean, we're definitely keeping the no English zone area. Just let's see if we keep it outside or we have to bring it inwards.
Are there any talks, is there any theme, or are the talks across a variety of different topics?
I would say in general, it's trying to show, diversity and different languages. And also one of the topics we want to focus on is discussing multilingualism in the world and also in Europe, because now with, UK leaving the European Union, it's quite a big topic. So there are definitely going to be discussions around these topics.
A couple of talks which I noticed also were dealing with indigenous and minority languages. So there's a talk from Brian Liu scheduled, from Dave Prine also talking about indigenous languages. And maybe that's a coincidence, but I thought with it being the United Nations Year of Indigenous Languages this year, that was rather appropriate.
Yeah. Actually, I remember Peter told me that this was also one of the approaches that we wanted to take. So yes, it's not a coincidence that you found it in the program.
Another interesting talk that I noticed was Gabriel Gellman, who's from Sprachheld. He's talking in German about older language learners. I think the talk's going to be in German, which is another topic which hasn't really been covered in previous years. And I noticed also that Rick Dearman, who's a regular speaker, is talking about his experience of having done 500 language exchanges in, I can't remember whether it was 3 months or some very short period. Somebody else was talking about the Bengali script. There are often talks about different scripts and writing systems. Are there any particular talks that have attracted your attention that you're looking forward to attending, if you get time?
Yeah, I must say that, as a head organizer, I will first have to see how much time I actually have for attending these talks. But I must say that definitely for me, I would like to learn a bit more about Asian languages this year, because so far I don't speak any Asian language. However, I just got back from Thailand, where I spent 6 weeks, and I must say the language really, it just sounds so beautiful. So I will definitely be focusing on talks about Asian languages this time.
The evening events are sort of established. Looking at the program, they seem to be similar to in previous years. So could you tell us a little bit about what's going to be going on in the evenings?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think as participants from previous years have noticed, we always like to have some, let's say, warm-up games, especially on day one. So like some ice-breaking games, we have this speed polyglotting and so on. And we're also going to have a professional singer on one of the evenings who's going to sing for 10 to 15 minutes. I'm really excited about this. And also this year, we're going to have a talent show where participants can show their skills in singing, dancing, playing different instruments, and so on. So if someone would like to, let's say, play an instrument and they are not able to bring it with them, just please contact us. And yeah, we will try to sort it for you. Because we already have some instruments that we tried to get sorted for some participants who are going to play.
Now, it's Cesco Reale who normally organises the Polyglot Games, and I see he's on the programme doing that again this year. But I notice he's got a bit of competition because the wonderful Marta Melnik will be doing karaoke, I think, also in the evenings.
Yes, yeah. We are definitely going to have even more of these games and fun social activities this year. So there will usually be even more things happening at the same time.
Marta is also in one of the workshops running a session on dance. And I saw that Simon Ager, another regular speaker from omnigot.com, is also doing Celtic and Irish and Welsh dances, Tumpath, the Welsh dancing, which looks interesting. There's also a talk on tips for raising multilingual children, which is a topic which I'm surprised hasn't come up so far, actually. So it's good to see that on the programme. A whole range of things. One thing I saw that I didn't quite understand was Pecha Kucha, which is a Japanese. Can you enlighten us on that?
Yes, I must say that I also have never participated in this before, but I know that it's also related to people coming up with different ideas. But to be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I think my colleague Peter, he would be the right person to explain more about this.
I was inquisitive. I googled it quickly, and it seems that you have, I think, 20 slides, pictures, and 20 seconds to talk about each one. So that's all I know. Whether it's supposed to be a mini talk or entertainment, I think maybe more in that direction. I don't know. But it's the sort of, the cultural smorgasbord that we have at the gathering, which is, I think, always something, there's always something new to discover. Talking of smorgasbord, is the International Culinary Evening going to happen again?
Yes, yeah, it's definitely happening. We're also about to send out a message to all participants just to remind them that they should bring something if they would like to, something culinary from their country to share with the rest of the world. So yes, it's definitely happening. I think this is something that we have to have every year because people just love it.
And you don't have to bring something, it doesn't have to be something large. People bring boxes of sweets, biscuits, typical drinks from their country. That's been my experience at least. So so let's move to the practical side then. I think people should have a clear idea of what to expect. What about accommodation? Can they stay at the university?
Well, at the university, unfortunately, there is no opportunity to stay. However, Bratislava is full of different hotels and hostels. So, I mean, in the last 2 years, it was never a problem to find some accommodation, even like for a very affordable price.
So people book their own accommodation, basically, yes. But there is food you can buy when you register on the website, tickets to go and eat in the university canteen if you want to. Yes.
Exactly.
And you have to pay for those in advance then. You have to decide, what you're going to do. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention as well as we sort of wind up, you have language courses in advance. And are there any, could you tell us about those? And then are there any trips this year round and about in Slovakia?
Yes, so as you mentioned, it's the first time we have these language courses taking place in advance. So we have Czech, Slovak, German, and Hungarian. Czech takes place in the Czech city called Brno. German in Vienna, Hungarian in the city called Győr. I'm not sure if I pronounce it correctly. I don't speak Hungarian myself. And Slovak is going to take place in Bratislava. So this is going to happen the few days right before the gathering. We already have a lot of people signing up for these. So it looks like it's going to be a successful part of the program as well.
And is it too late for people to sign up for those now, or do you think there might still be places?
There are still places on some of the courses, so yeah, luckily it's never too late.
And what about the trips then? The trips.
Regarding the trips, we're going to have the 3-country trip as we had last year. So this is going to take place on Wednesday, on the actual day before the gathering opens in the evening. Then we're going to have again a trip to the castle called Jevín, which I remember participating in last year. It was great, so I can definitely recommend this one. And then we're going to have a walking tour around the city as well, and also a night walk with the view of the castle in Bratislava, which looks amazing at night.
And it's worth climbing up those steps to go and see the castle, I think, as well. Another thing I did the first time I went to Bratislava was to go up the famous UFO bridge with the vantage point at the top where you can get some great views. Well, thank you for taking the time to tell us all about the gathering. I know you've got an extremely busy schedule, Jitka. What about then finally anybody who's watching and they think, yeah, I'm going to give this a go. Can you buy tickets on the website? What's the website address again?
Yes, so the website is polyglotbratislava.com.
Yeah.
But if you try to type in polyglotgathering.com, it's going to redirect you on the same website as well. So one of these two should work.
Great. And then can people buy for individual days if they don't have 5 days free?
Yes, exactly. They can either buy individual days or the whole event. Of course, if you buy the whole event, it's always cheaper per day. Yeah. But it's been the case for many people that they can just come, let's say, for the weekend. So it's definitely not a problem.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to tell us what we've got to look forward to at the 2019 Polyglot Gathering. I know you're really busy, so I won't take up any more of your time. But good luck with the final preparations, and I look forward to seeing you. And I hope quite a lot of the viewers in Bratislava. Folks, will be vlogging as usual. So if you see me, come up and say hello. If you'd like to be in one of my non-official, but I hope fun vlogs, do come and tell me, because I'm always looking for people to interview. And I'll hope to talk to you from the event as well, Jitka, if I can catch up with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gareth, as well.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.